P1. P1 showed in Game 1 that they can keep up with the top dogs, but ultimately it was Cloud9 that walked away with the win, looking to keep hold of their third place spot.
Yeah, a lot of that I think was actually the team fighting of Smoothie. It went a little bit unnoticed in them because he kept Pyrian out of the fights. He ended up throwing multiple Bard ultimates. The last fight, there was that one where he threw it at the Baron and he forced the flash out of Pyrian. And then there was the one that was very early on the bottom side of mid where he also pegged just him. So he knew his job, and I love the way that he was throwing the bindings and the flashes to even just put up magical journeys to save his teammates. So well-deserved player of the game there for Smoothie.
And on the other side, Pyrian, you just saw there on your screen, highest damage in the game despite a loss there. Another great Azir game from him, certainly capable of carrying even without the Malzahar maybe available to him. And I just think P1, they had all the tools to get it done there, but just never really did anything. They just need to be a bit more aggressive.
Yeah, I feel like Pyrian was just opening up the mid lane over and over and over again, being pushed up forward. And I feel like that's a perfect place for Inori to be. There's a lot of rules of jungling, but one of them is sometimes you play to your shoved up lane because you know the enemy jungler is going to play to that lane, right? Because he's going to follow the jungler book that says, hey, if that lane's shoved, you should probably help your teammate out. So ends up not going for it, but I want to see them be more aggressive, more proactive, because even if you don't get the counter gank, you at least get his jungle.
Yeah, and we saw that a lot yesterday where Inori was just going crazy in all the lanes. Like, I felt like P1 could have just pressed the issue a bit more. Instead, Cloud9 were able to scale up, play a very slow 30 minutes, and then really take over in the back half of the game. We're into the draft for game number 2, though, so we'll see if we have any changes. Seems like P1 also agree with Smoothie's good performance there, because they'll ban away the Ashe again from Sneaky, but take the Bard away from Smoothie.
Yep. Keep that Bard out of there. Also just banning what was working for them. I think now you ban the Malzahar. I think you leave the GP open. GP blind pick, not that great. You can counter pick it with a lot of different things, but it is a great champion for Zig.
Shen Sivir banned away there from Cloud9. Like you mentioned, banning away kind of what beat them as Gragas was the final ban there from Phoenix1. And Cloud9, do they just say, we do have to take the Malzahar away, or do they give it over and maybe Jensen feels comfortable in the 1v1? I feel like teams have underestimated the Malz, but they will ban the Gangplank away. So 2 bans again to Zig, and P1 just say, yep, we'll take it if you give it to us. Malzahar's back.
Yep, Vladimir's still on the table. The previous bans from C9 were Shen, Gangplank, Braum. So Braum falls through as well, and Vladimir is the other one.
Well, we'll see what Cloud9 do want to take here. Can't imagine Meteos is at least interested in taking away the Rek'Sai for himself.
Oh, especially since the Gragas is banned away. But that will be leaving Inori to play something like Hecarim. I don't really enjoy playing Rengar into Rek'Sai because you can see him through his stealth from a further range, and all you have to do is stand on top of who you think he's going to jump on and just A-click. A-click, and you'll come up as soon as he leaps on him, and you'll actually stop the damage. So
tricky stuff there, but I think Inori will at least flash the Rengar, if nothing else.
Yep, that's the other option for him.
Cloud9 do go with Jhin and Rek'Sai though, so pretty standard stuff there. Sneaky going to take kind of the last utility AD carry left, and Inori insta-locks Olaf as Gate takes away Braum.
That is a very devastating level 1 team fight already. I'm pretty sure P1, they should invade. They should just get Braum passives on people, keep throwing the axes down. You have Ghost over the flashes, so if people just flash straight down a lane, well, Jin's probably going to die. You'll probably kill the Rek'Sai as well. See if you can actually pick up some of those early kills and get yourself an early lead, because this is a very aggressive team from P1.
So what Cloud9 have in store here for picks 3 and 4 then, as Jensen actually hovering Zilean, which I believe we saw already into Malzahar. I can't quite recall which player it was, but have seen it already. Doesn't feel great, but feels relatively safe, which is kind of what you need against a champion as powerful as Malzahar. Cloud9 though still with options. Sneaky, maybe even giving, Thresh over to Smoothie, and there is the Zilean locked in for Jensen. They'll leave Impact with the counter pick this time around.
Yeah, it was actually Jensen who played the Zilean into Envy, playing it up against Ninja's Malzahar.
It does feel prepared, it feels like. Cloud9 give it away knowing that Jensen feels maybe comfortable in that 1v1. Curious to see how that works out, because it's gone wrong in the past when he played against P1 as early as yesterday.
That's true. I do believe, though, that the Zilean, he can keep up his pressure a little bit. He is very mana-hungry early, so he gets shoved in. But he ends up not so much stopping Malzahar, like pushing pressure back onto him. He just kind of prevents what Malzahar wants to do. Single one person out, make sure that they can't get blown up, and save his team.
And that's all you really need to do against Malzahar, is just kind of stop that snowball effect. Looks like last picks, though, are in for Phoenix1 as Tristana and Rumble are the final selections. Zig going to take something a little more aggressive into that top lane. Although it is a blind pick, of course, with Impact still to choose his champion. And Mash kind of going back to a throwback pick. You haven't seen too much Tristana. She's appeared a few times this summer, but definitely a pick that Mash is comfy on.
Yeah, I assume they go for a damage dealer here. But yes, the Tristana, I believe, is a great pick. Especially when you compare it with a Braum. Gives you some protection. You can become a hyper carry. Get those turrets. Because all Tristana has to do is just walk up, throw an E on it, and then Braum walks up and throws an E up, so you can't wave clear.
Maybe that element as well. P1 recognizing that, you know what, we kind of kept up in the lane swap but couldn't break mid as easily. As last pick is Aurelia actually for Impact. Kind of expected to see it last time. See it now into the Rumble rather than the Gnar. Looks like Zig's kind of gone away from that champion this particular draft.
Yeah, it looked like they tried to push him towards the Gnar again and then pick the Aurelia as the counter. But the pick of the Rumble, maybe a little bit of a curveball there for Cloud9. Overall, though, Cloud9's composition, pretty standard for him. We do see the Jhin again for Sneaky. This is pretty much just everybody playing champions they're incredibly comfortable on, right? Sneaky on Jhin, Smoothie on Thresh. It's that throwback. Maybe taking some bunny lessons too. But
yeah,
they're actually both fantastic Threshes. When I knew them in Challenger, they were both Thresh one-tricks. Or I guess every Challenger player was a Thresh one-trick, I guess, in Season 4. Right?
Yeah, if you're a support player, you probably only played Thresh. Much like back in the day, you only played Lee Sin.
That's true. That's true. If you weren't a Lee Sin player, you weren't a good jungler, but depends.
Rip Lee Sin.
That's true. That's true.
Fallen so far. Well, drafts is in. Coach going to shake hands one more time. Phoenix1 going to get to do that again, or Cloud9 going to take the sweep. I guess we'll have to find out soon-ish. But a bit of a change here from P1. We expected almost no changes for Cloud9, which is what happened. P1 have adapted. Is it enough here to win this second game and force another third? I guess we'll find out. Don't forget to keep those hashtags rolling. Hashtag P1 win. If P1 going to make another miraculous 2-1 comeback on hashtag C9 win. If you think they're going to hold on, sweep this series as maybe teams would have expected them to, although not so much after yesterday. Definitely lots to play for here.
Yeah, and P1, I feel like they're strongest when they're most underestimated. When we saw them go 0-9 at the start of the split, it was immediately like, oh, count this team out. People are like starting to insult them and stuff. Piglet have an interview where he's like, they're a disgrace. It's like, what? Now they start picking it up. 4-2 on the second half of the split, and now they're just trying to gain momentum.
They instantly move out as 4 towards the top half of the map. Pyrian going to probably get a ward down that middle, but looks like that invade you predicted is going to come out here for Phoenix1. Could just be for vision, but if they find a pick they like,
they're going to use the invade against them. Pretty much the exact same one. Impact hangs out there, and he only sees Zig. Oh, nope. It's like too cheap of an invade. I feel like now you call it off, and if you need lane swap wards, you just run straight through.
Good little ward there from Impact. Going to make sure to spot them all coming in, but again, it just feels like Deep Vision's going to be traded off here. Cloud9 starting to move over into Phoenix1's red side of the jungle. And you can see the pings already onto that really deep wall between the tier 3 and the tier 2 in bottom lane. So could have another lane swap on our hands here.
Quite possibly, and just get those lane swap wards down. You'd have a little bit of a faster push with the Tristana, and you'd be able to get that turret down maybe a little bit quicker. The Jhin does end up critting them, so he gets a decent amount of bonus damage too.
It should be, for all intents and purposes, pretty much the same time. I guess it's just a matter of if the teams want to commit to the swap or not. Feels like P1 are sticking their duo lane up towards that top half, and Sneaky's already anchored in the bottom lane, so once again, they're going to have a lane swap to start this game. I feel like I've seen so many Cloud9 games where they lane swap, but kind of with the way their team likes to play things out, it does make sense to me.
Yeah, and it also allows Smoothie to roam mid really early on, and it looked like he was just trying to get another roam. He has Thunderlords on Thresh, so you know he's looking for an aggressive play. And it's actually a fantastic champion to actually make those kinds of roams on.
Looks like Cloud9 just going to shove this down. Nice little wave clear there from Sneaky. Gets 3 melee minions with the dancing grenade. But again, this should just be a standard push. But Impact's already walked his way down to this lane. Zig's going to join top half, so no teleports need to be burnt just yet. Take these towers in a nice orderly fashion as Pyrian going to lose that passive. Jensen level 2.
Yeah, and Meteos might actually go for something cheeky here. Could clear out the Raptors and then go for a level 3 gank mid. Or he can just go on his way and continue to go for the red buff. He has the options, but... he tunnels down, okay.
Dances back and forth a bit, but decides not to commit to a potential gank. kind of tricky to convert a gank with a Zillion in the lane, but it's not impossible.
Could have gone for the Malzahar in the back, but doesn't go for it. And instead, Inori gets to clear out one more camp than him.
Catch up pretty quickly, though. Both these junglers pretty efficient when it comes to early clear. Jensen, though, just keeping the wave shoved in. Pyrian can't really clear too efficiently without some levels. Jensen just able to double on the wave and kind of just leave whenever he wants here. And Nori finally taking down that red buff. Meteor's a little further ahead, I think, although it may have just done some different jungle pathing. Regardless, though, we are going to trade these turrets back. Cloud9 ahead for the early stages here. Impact gets the gold, but Zig going to collect only seconds after. And I imagine these teams are going to swap back. Cloud9 already looking to push Sneaky and Smoothie into the top lane.
Yep. Only difference here between pretty much the entire map is that P1 got an extra camp earlier, and then Meteos trades out that camp for the Scuttle. So Inori's just barely up at the moment, but it'll just wax and wane by like one camp. Inori's ahead by a couple seconds.
Yeah, just some small piece of jungle farm.
Here we go. They see them coming up. They see both of them. Malzahar starts to roam. P1 gonna augment the roams. They're gonna augment the lane swap.
I like it. Smoothie's on level 2. And Nori, ooh, first X misses.
Why is he here? Is what Smoothie's saying.
Throw another one. Exhaust already down. Teleport committed for Cloud9. Damages that. Malzahar's good. And Inori gets himself first blood. Now Sneaky gonna try and get himself away. Jensen did teleport up here, so did Impact. They're gonna try and take out Zig. Sneaky takes a huge amount of damage, but he will get the kill back in onto Rumble. As Jensen going to try and chase down Inori. Pyrian's going to get out of there, and Inori kind of left to die. Who's going to get this kill? Sneaky looking for it again, but Jensen gets the bomb down.
And that's going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Cloud9, who got engaged on. TPs come through, and that's the disadvantage that you risk because you have a top laner on the other side of the map, so it's actually a numbers disadvantage. And speaking of which,
Pyrian
2-on-1.
Caught. Jensen flashes forward. There's the bomb. There's one. Pyrian going to flash up. Meteor's going to flash in for it. Gets the last few autos down and make sure Jensen gets the kill.
2-0-1 at 4 minutes and 50 seconds for Jensen. Tower push is what they sacrifice, but now Bunny's going to try to hold, and we'll see how that works out after this because Inori walks up, gets the other side, misses the first one, but he has the red buff application, able to ghost through. They pick up Smoothie. That's clean. But then they don't collapse. I feel like that's the mistake, is they don't collapse onto Impact and Jensen immediately because this puts the fight so far away from where Malzahar is that Pyrian can't actually join in. If you're able to collapse on the teleport, Sneaky's level 2, he's out of the fight, and then you have multiple level 4s on a level 4 and a 3.
Yeah, Pyrian just got himself caught towards the end as well, so didn't even live, despite not being able to join the fight as aggressively as he may have wanted to. And Jensen will take 2-0-1, return his way to the lane with a catalyst already completed and an early looking Rod of Ages on the way there. P1 didn't even trade that turret back either. So they've actually rejoined into standard lanes, but P1 don't have a turret in this bottom lane. And only one turret apiece, and Nori's at it again.
Yeah, but Meteos is also around here to counter gank. Tag Sneaky. No, he doesn't have flash.
Lantern's good, but now Meteor's going to join in. Make sure it doesn't happen. Huge triple play. Sneaky going to go down. That was Inori chases him down. Smoothie tried, but he couldn't quite pull someone under the turret for a kill.
Hey, you were talking about you want to see more aggression from P1. Hey, it's your kind of game, play-by-play.
Yeah, I mean, even the top lane attempt there from P1 didn't work out in practice, but the theory is great there. I think P1 trying to close the lane swap early, get themselves a few kills. Very creative. Try and make something happen.
It doesn't work for 2 reasons in this game. Because of TP, most mid laners have started to abandon it in favor of Ghost. But because it was double TP, Jensen's able to roam and match it, even though he normally wouldn't be able to. And the other one was just the fact that, you know, they didn't collapse back on the teleports.
Yep, and looks like turret is finally going to fall. Good aggression from Inori. Make sure P1 collect that outer turret that they prepped in bottom lane earlier. Jensen level 6 going to get ulted up by the Malzahar, but that's not quite enough damage.
It's ambitious.
Voidling finally going to spawn. I think Pyrian maybe messed up the inputs there. And Jensen going to hold that ultimate, doesn't need to burn it. In fact, he's going to stay in lane.
Yeah, he's got a catalyst, so you spend a bunch of mana, you get your blue buff handed off to you, you're just going to recover HP over time. He's got such high costs, too, that he really does actually get a lot of HP back.
Meteos also here. Going to take the Raptor camp away from Inori, though. See if he wants to have a visit to Pyrian's lane, but I think Jensen's more than happy just farming things up here. Going to take the waves down. Getting pushed in now because Malzahar's able to very quickly push the waves in, but Jensen can safely wave clear and just collect farm at his leisure. Sneaky once again. Lantern on top. Can't be too aggressive here in this bottom lane because Cloud9 don't really have anywhere to run to. Meteor's they're going to try something.
Yeah, this is a long lane too. Like that turret's already gone. He doesn't know where Nori is, but he's been checking it out. He's like, this guy's not at his red buff. He's not on his bottom side of the map, and now gonna chase him down.
They want Mash. They lock up Gate though with the snare from Sneaky. Gate is going to be the sacrifice here, and Sneaky gets himself a second kill.
Yep, they tried to ward it a little bit too late on that. And immediately Impact starts pulling back, knowing that if you're making a play on the bottom side of the map, communicate it, and so your top laner backs off. I've seen too many times where something happens bot, and you try to make something happen top, where you know that you're going to have a numbers disadvantage. So, backs off.
Great coverage there from Cloud9. Meteos does some thorough investigation work before attempting that gank on the bottom lane. P1 going to have to play a little more safely, perhaps. As Sneaky and Smoothie push that lane in, Mash will now collect the CS that will move towards his tier 2 turret, but Cloud9 have created some space for this Infernal Drake, and they are going to start 3-manning it. Jen's going to join in as well, and Impact, if necessary, can come, but P1 sniffed this out, managed to chase them off the objective.
Purian almost has his ultimate. He's a couple seconds away, but he pops the Ghost, and now it's up.
Well, P1 actually might turn around for the Infernal Drake instead. Cloud9, a little too aggressive trying to take that down, and instead they gift it over.
Yeah, their timing on these Drakes early has been a bit off in terms of power spikes and what the enemy team is doing position-wise, but Impact would have to blow teleport to get there, and they had actually pulled Zig down straight into this lane.
I mean, unfortunately for Zig, he's not doing too much else because he's really far down in CS.
Yeah, there's a big wave top right now that he needs to catch, or else he risks just actually having that CS be it's funny because I think of CS as like what's in the wave right now added to what you have. Like it would actually just be this type of difference, this 21 or this 31.
Yeah, he's walking. He's about to
losing a lot.
Maybe more creeps. Gonna finally pick these up, so he's got 7 to add to the total here, but he is woefully behind Impact still. Yeah, 1v1 has not been working out particularly well.
And you saw Zig just hit 7. Impact is about to hit 8. And we saw him have a 2-level advantage last game, where he's just getting funneled decent amount of farm, but it's not so much that they're like giving up waves to allow him to have it. He's so good at just picking up the waves and managing them and knowing that his TP is going to matter, and he makes that moment worth it.
See Phoenix1 actually bringing multiple people up to this lane. Gonna swap out of the Aurelia 1v1 for now. In fact, maybe even just try for a tower dive here. Meteos is around.
I think you make a play here because Sneaky's on the bottom. Jensen just used teleport to get back to mid lane. Push this turret down. You have a Tristana, you have a Braum. You can have your Malzahar get wave advantage in the mid lane, and Jin is never going to get your tier 2 in the time that you're going to take this one.
Yeah, Jensen can't leave the lane because Malzahar's right there waiting for him. Smoothie has roamed up though, so maybe enough here for Cloud9 to defend 3v4 with the turrets to help them out. But P1 are going to move in. Good ulti there from Impact to clear out most of the wave. Going to surf on a bunch of minions and collect some CS as well, and C9 deflect that easily.
Yeah, it was a really late Unbreakable there from Gate, and he just seemed a little too cautious. I feel like if you block those Transcendent Blades, you really shut down the wave clear.
Well, fortunately for P1, again, I like the spirit of the play, but execution not quite there. Purian is going to lose the passive. Jensen tries to lead a bomb, but Purian is going to skirt the edges around and make sure he avoids it. Unfortunately, that does mean Cloud9 are up almost 700 gold.
Despite being down a turret.
Continuing to get farm as well. Everything's looking good. Impact more than happy to keep the wave back. He's going to have Trinity Force up relatively quickly. And they're at it again, trying to gank Impact, but he's just playing so safe.
Yeah, and now you can see, look at Cloud9. All 5 members are like, hey, they are trying to make a play top. Let's go.
Most of Cloud9 coming. Zig's still with that teleport, but he is bottom lane for now. Meteos does see 3 of them moving through. Doesn't quite tag match with the Prey Seeker, but his presence alone is enough to kick P1 out of that potential gank again. And Impact, once again, plenty of space to play with. Still up in CS versus Zig here.
Yeah, it's very hard to make those types of plays early on because you don't have level 9. You don't have that upgraded sweeper that follows you. So you can't have that whole Minesweeper. I'm running around just trying to find all the wards. And if you don't see any, you're like, all right, it's clear they didn't see me walk up here.
He's actually mid lane as well, looking to start a siege, locks him down. Purian going to get ulted up as well. Bullet's going to fly away. Ghost actually helping out, needs one more though. Does not land the crit.
And a sniper. Misses all of
American
them.
Snap.
Yeah, that's true. Oh yeah, okay, I won't include, I won't embarrass Canada, that's fine. You know, it's just us. Anyway, the The Ghost is popped there as well, though, from Purion, and it does force it back, so overall it is an advantage for Cloud9. More CS advantage here in that mid lane for Jensen, as well as experience that's going to be wasted.
And Sneaky able to collect some farm in this top lane as well. Impact has kind of opened up a nice little farming spot there in the top lane. Sneaky more than happy to move in to collect it. A little bit behind Mash right now on CS, so it makes sense.
And that's why we see the gold difference being 300 right now, because there's this wave top, there's this wave on the bottom side, and Impact has a lot of gold. There's basically like 400 gold sitting in that bottom wave right now.
Impact kind of scooping it all up now as well as P1 continuing to be proactive around the map, but Cloud9 have played very well defensively. It does feel like this team starting to develop a pretty interesting style where, you know, they're happy to play deliberate, kind of play the game out, collect their farm in a very macro level sense, and then kind of win the mid to late game.
Yeah, but up against those top teams that will abuse you early on, it's a strategy that doesn't hold as much water.
Well, maybe it's something they adapt between opponents. They definitely don't want to make mistakes here and drop games to P1 where realistically they shouldn't be. But Phoenix1, of course, it's their job to try and upset here. Looking not too bad here in the second game, but game one was kind of started in the same fashion. Cloud9 have continued to do a good job playing strong reactive League of Legends, and they've got the Zillion, they've got the Aurelia, even Jin just farming up. Everyone's happy to be patient here. Cloud9 are a team that, at least I've seen them play recently, more than happy to wait.
Yep, Cloud9 can be very patient here. P1, on the other hand, is going to pick this up. And who will it go to? Probably Inori.
Probably. Zig is trapped in the bottom lane, so unless he wants to commit teleport to it, Meteos does spot the lack of Rift Turret with the Prey Seeker, but not nearly there in time to try and steal it. Inori's going to go ahead and get it. Meteos actually going to spot him, but he'll pick up Glimpse of the Void. It's a good buff for Olaf to have.
Yep, took 3 people to do it, and so they pick it up. We'll see if he can actually put some good use to it. Olaf loves to dive, so sometimes he does get out of range of his teammates and allows himself to make use of the Glimpse of the Void.
You can see Red Smite Cinderhawk as well for Inori. A bit more aggressive. Meteos actually, no TM at this time. He's playing for the Vision. Went for the Sightstone, has the Balmy Cinder. Impact now finishes his Trinity Force as well. Zig does have Sorcery's Proto Belt, so he's got some good early efficiency in those items, but Impact, I think it's his time to really take over a lane, either 1v1 or getting involved in some sort of skirmish.
Yeah, the Trinity Force power spike, absolutely huge. And the fact that he's a level up as well, Trinity Force goes off your base damage, get more base damage, get more damage in general with Trinity Force. So if he hits that level 11 before a fight breaks out, has that rank 2 ultimate, it would be very beneficial. And Zig would love that right now. Zig would love to have level 2 equalizer before a fight.
Oh, this is bad news though. Yeah, gonna get chunked. Impact will chase him. Protobelt, maybe not enough there. Impact looking for a solo kill, perhaps under the turret. Gonna line up the last blade surge, gets it and executes the rumble.
Ooh, well played there from Impact. Gets the reset as well, so that he's able to Q again to a minion and get out and not take many turret shots.
Nice stuff, and Cloud9 as a result will also open up space on the bottom side of the map. They'll start the Cloud Drake. Should be able to get it for themselves. P1 do have it watered, but they don't have the manpower to try and defend. And that's a big deal as Mash trapped in midair. It's a bomb. Jensen also doing pretty significant damage. He's level 11 right now.
Yeah, Zillion only has 1 damaging ability and he's hit, so a lot of it is just loaded into that ability. And it's a skill shot on top of it, so it has to be really rewarding to land. That's what we see happen when both hit on the 80 carry.
Jensen feeling pretty good with blue buff. 20 CS ahead with the Rotovators finished and Morello Nomicon being worked on. Did start off with some early kills from Cloud9's nice little top lane rotation. Jensen reaping the full benefits right now. Bombs himself. I think he wanted the minions, but he's not too fast. I mean, Pyrion's keeping up. He's Malzahar, but P1 have just not been able to find the same angles they were able to yesterday. The noise pressure's kind of been subdued a little bit. Pyrion's not really been able to leave this lane. And Jensen's along with the teleport, so P1 kind of forced to play Cloud9's game, which is real good news for Cloud9.
Yeah. Despite being up a turret, they still don't have that pressure advantage. Cloud9, I think it's that Sight Stone as well from Meteos, and the fact that he has the Tremor Sense on Rek'Sai, it allows them to just make very aggressive moves or avoid the aggression.
Here we are again.
Yep.
Purion keeps dancing back. That Ghost helping out a lot, actually.
He slowed him down.
Sneaky does save the last bullet. Gay jumps in as well, though, but he's going to get snared up by Sneaky. Might cost himself his life. It'll just cost a flash. Jensen flashes forward. Looks for the last bomb, but doesn't land it.
That was really aggressive from Jensen there. And put down the slow onto Pyrian so that that last crit shot from Sneaky's Curtain Call could land. Now they're going to have to bring Olaf and Tristan to the mid lane, try to clear this out, make sure that they can prevent the siege from happening.
Looks like wave clears enough though. Mash there in time. And Zig still just trying to get some CS off of Impact here. Impact continuing to bully this lane a little bit more. He's going to back off because P1 have kind of ducked back into Fog of War, although Inori's on top of a pink ward right now. He'll clear that out from that little bit of brush. And Impact going to go back, maybe spend some money. As a Ghostblade Mash is back again, I realized.
Yeah, Ghostblade, looks like it'll be Runat's Hurricane second afterwards. So already got that attack speed. Arm penetration works against turrets, so it is actually quite good.
BF still for Sneaky though, going for Dustblade, so arm penetration everywhere for the AD carries right now. And again, the battle for mid lane turrets continue, but they are short-lived as you really just kind of trade chip back and forth for a few minutes. Impact though is starting to make a real dent in that top lane turret.
Yeah, slowly but surely getting there. Has that advantage, level 11, but evened up now by Zig, slows down, but still ahead in the experience department.
And that's the thing, this gold lead, kind of alluded to it already, but it is deceptive here. Cloud9 are up in gold, but that's behind a turret.
Yeah, they have a turret
that lane
to take.
swap.
If they just power through on the top side of the map, they would be able to force it down, but they have to honestly respect the power of P1 and what they'd be able to do here.
P1 sticking together as well. Meteos entertains the idea of a dive, but does not commit. With the rest of P1 clearly ready to answer. Blue buff is up as well, but Pyrian should be able to get this for himself. Gonna let the Voidlings do most of the work there. And yeah, they're gonna run back in and make sure they get it. Inori just make sure it does enough damage. Pyrian gonna go ahead and get the buff. Cloud9 again doing some damage to the mid lane turret, but it's just Jensen's wave clearing a couple of autos here and there. Neither team really hard committing to any sort of siege, knowing that there's plenty of farm still to get on the side lanes. You can see a ping down the bottom lane for Cloud9. I imagine that Sneaky gonna wander down with Smoothie to pick up a wave. And there he is. Sneaky's favorite side lane farm.
Yep. You have to assume that he's going to go for it, though, if you are P1. Not really able to make a move around it either. And, like, you should be making plays around gigantic minion waves when they push forward. If you push the enemy underneath their turret, and they have to back off because you brought numbers there they didn't expect, then you get chip damage on the turret. You can continue to do that every few minutes. But in this case, P1 aren't really making too much of it. It looks like now they're trying to invade the jungle with it. And they bring Pyrian over as well. So it'll be a 4-on-4, but Impact does even up the turrets.
Yeah, Zig finally forced off that turret. That gives Impact the time to take it down. Turret's not evened up as Cloud9 get themselves about 2,000 gold ahead. Ulti out from Gate though, looking for a play. Smoothie forced to flush out the wall. Jensen's been caught though, but they actually knock it around. He gets the ulti onto himself, and Meteor's going to try and shred Pyrian apart. Sneaky pots the ultimate, but it's not quite enough as Zig frontlining gets hooked by Smoothie. Bomb should be there though, as Sneaky able to take him down. And Impact's fighting Inori with now Gate on the side as well. He's got a bomb on his head, diving back in onto it. Gets himself a double kill to Sneaky as Gate's going to get locked up by the deadly flourish.
The Vision's about to
trying to get back in and clean it up, but the exhaust is down. Sneaky gets himself a triple kill as it all settles. And Pyrian the only one left. There's the Quadra and Sneaky getting get another penta. He does!
And Sneaky picks up a pentakill in this hectic fight. Oh, man. His second one of the season.
Yep, his second one of the season. As 21 minutes in, Cloud9 forced the fight around the blue buff as P1 were looking to get aggressive. That's a huge influx of gold for Sneaky. Goes from 2-1-1 to 5-1-1. Jensen's even going to get the mid turret here as well. And Cloud strikes back up in 30 seconds. Cloud9 once again find an opening.
Oh, man. Sneaky, 7-1-1 after this fight. Does an amazing job here. He also has a lot of pressure on him, too, because Inori goes off on the side. They get Jensen, but the stun doesn't go off from Braum fast enough. Able to get back up. Sneaky positions to use his ultimate, but then he gets Rumble ulti, has to back up, and then re-enters the fight. Goes after Ziggs, picks up the first kill, and now Pyrian's over the wall because he's been chunked out. Impact has the bomb, and it's really well played here with the dash to get back in. Picks up that kill, and is honestly, it's a kill there from Sneaky off on the side. And whoa. Oh, they're collapsing on Impact.
The good-looking sequence on Jin there, but we're not going to watch it all as Impact is able to get away there. Actually goes back in. Whereas the Cloud9 series going to try and stun up one. He slows Inori. Meteor's here as well, though. Hook lands in. Zig caught again as the W is going to land in for the snare. Zig now forced to flash up, but Impact just going to shred through them all. The last bullet whizzes by Gate. He doesn't quite go down. Impact, though, revived by Zillion. Piri now caught out of position. Jensen this time gets the double. There's another. Is Piri going to go down? A triple kill for Jensen. Are they going to go in for Inori as well? Maybe a quadra this time for the mid laner as Inori chased up, unborrowed there, and Jensen gets another. There's the quadra.
And Cloud9, they aren't playing around anymore. That first game, really slow at first, then that gigantic burst of gold. But now, 23 minutes in, already a penta and a quadra kill for them. And Cloud9 are just taking over.
I was ready for the back-to-back pentas. Jensen not to be, though, as Cloud9 will simply take a tier 2 turret. Go themselves 4-2 up in turrets, 15-5 up in kills. Those last 9 happening in the last few minutes.
And picking up so many turrets to boot as well. 3 turrets in that time.
And a Cloud Drake. And about 7,000 gold ahead.
Just taking everything on the map. And Cloud9 saying, Liquid won their game today, but we need to still keep hold of third, because in week 9, Cloud9 plays Team Liquid for that third place spot most likely. And the stakes would be very high there. Mash walks back in. Impact just goes, all right, time to queue. Because at that point, he's like, my team's going to get slaughtered. I have to do something. And he ends up dying. Impact goes back in. Big facilitator of that fight. But keeps getting sped up as well.
You say facilitator.
Yep.
I say he stole the penta.
He earned that one.
Pretty sure that last bomb was going to kill Mash. But Impact takes it with the Blade Surge instead. Jensen is denied the back-to-back penta.
Yes, he needs to have a formal apology for not being a soothsayer.
I'm sure it's fine. Cloud9 will take it regardless, as they are real far ahead in this game. Jensen now with a death cap completed, so no one's messing around on the Cloud9 side.
Yeah, and now P1 is a very large advantage that they have to claw their way back from. And that hook onto Zig to start it all off was just absolutely beautiful. It's the one person they really wanted. They hooked Inori. Maybe he would have ultied out. But he ends up going on the right person, and whoa.
And all this pressure now. Sneaky using the ultimate pretty much whenever it's up to try and force something. Gate able to hop his way out with Stem behind me, but Cloud9 still not done. Smoothie's been on point with hooks in the last few minutes. Empyrean maybe caught out. GNW not quite in range of Sneaky, a little off by a screen. Zig going to put the ulti down, and Meteor's getting chased out on the other side. Pyrian going to commit the ultimate. The rest of P1 are in there.
He needs
Meteor
the lantern.
flashes out, but he gets himself stunned. He can't click it even if he wanted to. Lives forever, though, as the Jensen ulti's going to keep him alive. Now Impact round the side, gets exhausted, flashes over the top, though, and goes in for Inori. Matt locked up there as Jensen slays him with a few bombs. Impact takes that Inori, and Cloud9 react beautifully to pick up 2 clean kills.
And the Zillion is just shutting down everything that P1 wants to accomplish. Gets around the corner, gets the chrono shift off, and that just has to tilt you a bit.
Well, Cloud9 might even look for Baron now as well. Not the best Baron damage team. Mokega catch instead. Sick. Locked up and bursted down. Sneaky godlike as well, as Gay going to get chased. Meteor gets the Umbaro on the back end of the hitbox, and there's a double kill for Sneaky.
Smoothie again, another hook. The previous fight got a hook to start it all off again. Hooked Zig, this time even more. So this Thresh working out for him.
And now time for the Baron, I think, as Jensen chases Pyrian out. Kind of the only one left right now is Inori and Mash are both leaving the base. C9, not the most Baron damage, but more than enough to secure it this time around. And they are insanely far ahead. 26 minutes in, now more than 10,000 gold up on Phoenix1, looking for the sweep.
And Phoenix1, they took down TSM, they got a large morale boost. They had to feel really good about that coming into this game. And then Cloud9, they're just deflating that balloon right now. Pyrian, he popped his ghost really early because he thought this would happen. Speeds away. They really want to get onto Jensen here. Backs up to avoid the Braum knockup. Flashes away from the Lantern, so there isn't one to actually get Meteos out. And then Meteos ends up doing the chrono shift, and the rest is history.
Now, as we pop back in, Impact almost takes out Mash, farming a little too far forward in that top lane. But a more of Malmortius means that Impact does real damage, especially in a 1v1, as Cloud9 with that Baron buff going to push in, try and knock down some of these inhibitor turrets. Mid tier 2 goes down. That's 5 turrets to 2 now, with only the top lane tier 2 left for P1, and C9 going to try and take out this mid inhib first, I think.
Yeah, they had 3 people from P1 side sitting in that top bush waiting for Impact. Impact played it safe. He didn't play it aggressive. He didn't get overconfident. He's 3-1-9. It's so easy to get cocky and then walk forward.
Oh, bomb. Gates. Nail lands as well. Sneaky opens up the ulti. Impact dives straight in for it, actually. Gets himself the first kill. Is he going to try and chase Pyrian out of his own base? He's forced to leave as Cloud9 going to look to take out the mid. They'll break open the center of the base, take the inhib here as well, and might even push for more.
Yeah, and C9 looks like they're conquering a bit of the composition that was used from P1 yesterday.
Doing there, Dustblade proxy. Sneaky goes a legendary, and Cloud9 going to push straight back in.
Immediately start going towards the actual objective. Cool guys don't look at explosion.
Finds Zig. Zig going to go down. Impact with the ulti as well. Does go down, gets himself some health back. Cloud9 moving in for the kill.
And it looks like they want to take this clean sweep, the 2-0 over P1, and shut down that hype.
Turret 1 goes down, and Cloud9 in game 2 take absolutely 0 prisoners. They'll knock down the Nexus turrets. They'll look to pick up a few more kills, but that Nexus will fall, and Cloud9 are going to pick themselves up the 2-0 sweep versus Phoenix1.
Well, 9 going to pad the stats a little bit more, but yes, they are going to close it out clean. 2-0.
Almost made me look like a liar, but managed to take it there. A back-to-back Penta and a Quadra as Cloud9 speed things up a bit in the mid-game.
You call it a stolen Penta.
It was a stolen.
No, he stole Impact's double. Calling it.
Well, again, the result is probably what matters to these guys more than anything else. Sneaky gets his second Penta of the split. Impact goes berserk on Aurelia. Jensen demonstrates that Zillion is in fact pretty good versus Malzahar. And Cloud9 hold third comfortably, sweeping Phoenix1.
Yeah, wonder if we'll see that pick come out more, because Jensen's been the one really just bringing it out every time he sees the Malzahar up against Envy, up against P1. And with the eyes on playoffs now for Cloud9 having secured their spot, it's all about how they can perform against the top teams. They show that they can take care of business with some of the bottom teams, but they also just eliminated Phoenix1 from playoffs too.
Fortunate for Phoenix1, but they're still battling maybe for that safety spot. 7 would not be bad given how the season started here for P1. Rough to not win, especially after the upset yesterday. You can see P1 kind of leans back in their chairs. There's definitely some great moments again, but Cloud9, they pretty much take care of business today. They've got a few more matches to play. They're certainly thinking about Liquid, which actually may end up being our fight for third place to try and break the parity there moving into playoffs. As it stands, only 2 more matches left to play. Cloud9 looking awfully strong.
Yeah, and we heard Dardog talk about it. He thinks that Cloud9 is quite strong. Looking forward to that match between TL and C9 next week. And then P1, they still have to try and climb. You have to talk about like how they didn't have this full roster until later in the split.
And Ori's certainly shown up just how much work he can do. Looking a little dejected there on your screen. It's always tough to take a loss, but P1 still plenty to fight for as they look to close out their season.
Looked a little dejected. It always sucks to lose a game, but the memes last forever.
That's true.
So
that image will be legendary. It will stay there forever.
Exactly. It's always going to exist. It's on the internet, so.
And I think for Cloud9, just such a strong showing across the board. Game 1, we could maybe see was a little too slow. They were feeling out their opponents, perhaps you can call it. But Game 2, as soon as they got a lead, they leapt forward and everyone did their work.
Yeah, I love it when they're playing through mid lane, they're playing through Pyrian and having him synergize with Honori. There's a lot of really good opportunities in these games for them to be aggressive and to pick on that mid lane. But I feel like the Zillion pick really shut down that. If you go for the mid lane, he's just going to ulti himself. Or how are you even going to get in as a Ghost Olaf? He's going to throw double bomb, maybe speed himself away. So there's a lot to consider of who you're ganking, and I think the Zillion just really threw a wrench in the plans.
Yeah, and that double teleport play as well. Like, I love the idea from P1.
It would have been a really good play.
Very clever, but usurped by Jensen.
Yep.
just teleports in. He's like, oh, ruined all my fun. Well, with that, let's hand it off to Azael, who is standing by with Cloud9's victorious mid laner.
Hey guys, I'm Azael. I'm here with Jensen, just coming off that 2-0 victory. Things looking very good for you guys, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the playoff picture. So right now, you guys are sitting, in third place. You got your 10th win. Next week, you have Liquid. It could decide a lot of things. Are you guys feeling confident going into that?
Yeah, I would say we're feeling confident. I think we're making big improvements in areas we weren't really sure what was wrong with. So hopefully, we'll just do well in playoffs, and yeah.
Awesome. So dialing back a little bit, P1 today, obviously huge upset yesterday over TSM. Watching that, people were kind of joking around a little bit on Twitter and stuff, but were you guys more worried about them because of that? Was it something that you kind of thought about, maybe even worrying about the Rengar a little bit, or were you just thinking, hey, this is a fluke, just play them kind of like normal?
Well, I think P1 played really well yesterday, but I think TSM weren't playing their best games. But it's definitely something that we thought about because they beat TSM and they played pretty well. So it was definitely something we were thinking about, but we weren't really too worried as long as we played our game. And we're not really too worried about Rengar since versus TSM, he kind of snowballed early on. And I think as long as you don't let Rengar get out of control and you pick good champions versus him, you'll be fine versus him.
For sure. So coming off a fantastic Zilean game today, you played Zilean into Malzahar yesterday as well, I do believe. Is this something that you feel is just like, hey, okay, I can get through lane and succeed elsewhere? Or do you feel it's a particularly strong pick for lane against Malzahar? Because obviously something that's been very popular lately.
Well, the thing about Zilean versus Malzahar is the lane isn't super fantastic, but like around level 7, you can just clear the wave pretty easy. And Zilean as a champion, you build Rod of Ages, so you're relatively tanky. So even if Malzahar ults you and you get ganked, you can survive it, whereas other champions, they'll just die because they don't build Rod of Ages. So it just counters Malzahar's kit pretty well, and it's just a pick I thought about versus Malzahar.
Awesome. So, is there anyone that you would really be looking forward to as far as playing in the playoffs first round? If you get your dream matchup, who are you going up against first week playoffs?
I don't know if I have any dream matchups or anything. I think I just want to get out of first round of playoffs. That's all this time. There's not really any specific matchups I'm too worried about or anything.
Well, good luck with that. Hopefully you guys will make it to Toronto then. And that's going to be it for us. We'll send it back to the guys at the desk.
Told that we're welcoming the members from our NALCS 1 stream, Cloud9 taking the victory over Phoenix1 in 2 games as well. So very dominant series across the board today. We just finished actually wrapping up Fox versus CLG, in which CLG took the series 2-0. Fox is now our guaranteed 10th place. CLG have locked themselves into the playoffs. Did you want to close anything out on that series?
You were wondering what you would do for
Well,
Fox.
I was going to say with Fox, I mean, it's specifically when we consider the likes of TLA and that team, they're the first matchup. What specifically does Fox need to shore up in order to take on this challenger squad?
I mean, this is a tsunami that they got to bring a whole lot of things to this table to actually be able to keep up. But I just think that their problem lies in wave management. They've just resulted to this crutch of wave clear for days and wait for the other team to kind of make the mistake. When you have just so much wave clear, it's a lot easier to dictate the pace of the game, but they don't actually know how to manage the waves. The top laner and bottom lane just aren't synced together, where in reality, there's a lot of synergy between these two roles in terms of managing the waves and lane assignment, and it's just not there at all. Mid lane just has to stay middle the entire time, and if they don't fix this problem, a team like TLA is going to have no problem putting Piglet in the carry position and snowball real hard.
Exactly.
And this is something that's symptomatic, and this isn't a blame game here in this scenario, but like this is symptomatic of Froggen's team's play style over the last 2 years. Same happened on Elements, the same happened on teams before it, is that if the other individual components as well can't step up to the same level, Froggen's laning is still as good as it ever was. You know, he's always putting up the stats. The problem is he's soaking a lot of resources on his own, and if the rest of the team haven't caught up to the basics as everybody else in the league, wave management, lane swaps, all of these things, then you can't do enough as an individual to carry yourself through.
All right, so plenty of work for the Echo Fox squad to do while looking towards that summer promotion tournament, or spring promotion tournament, rather, moving to the next split. CLG going to be happy to have made it into playoffs. They still got a couple more games to play in the regular season. I want to now transition over to Cloud9 versus Phoenix1. Cloud9 picked up the second game here to close out the series 2-0, as we can see in 28 minutes, 30 seconds. So another pretty quick game for them. What's important to note as well, though, this victory does put a little bit of separation between them and the next teams on the ladder. So sitting comfortably in that third place spot right now, this is a very nice victory for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And P1 kind of a little distraught with getting the picks that they wanted. The composition's a little bit different from what they have. We've criticized them for just being kind of like a press R and go. Olaf, not that kind of champion. Right. You know, a little bit too much on that front. And right off the bat, they kind of make a little bit of an uncharacteristic move that we'll get to in the meantime.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I want to let you jump in first, Stress.
Yeah, and specifically about champion status, because coming into it, we were like, okay, well, the Brom's not going to be there, the Malzahar shouldn't be there either.
That was our expectation.
Yeah, C9 bans Sivir, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe they just don't want P1 to get a lead and then just hit R and go for it, like you're talking about, Crumbs, but very surprising. I like the Malzahar priority, I like the Braum priority in the second rotation. The Olaf is the curious one to us. Tristana Mash plays it. We've seen it before.
Yeah, I don't love it, but he plays it. So.
I just don't see what the Olaf on its own actually offers here. Normally you'd see it with the Sivir, the Karma gets it into the fight.
Yeah.
Hecarim in that situation still isn't a great pick, but has the Engage. We were talking a little bit about other picks like the Nidalee if you want to dominate the early game.
Right.
I just don't feel like Olaf had enough here.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. They kind of picked themselves into a weird position because they themselves were the ones that pinched the jungle pool by last banning Gragas and then not taking the Rek'Sai, allowing Meteos to grab it. So, in a sense, didn't do themselves much favors in champs. Like, now I want to dive into the game, Crumbs. 4 minutes into the game. Do you want to set it up?
Yeah,
or
I'll
roll
set it up. So this is going to be right after the lane swap where Olaf is going to finish in the top side, and they have two options. You can either continue jungling to the bottom side or look to make a play in the top side. They're going to go to make a play because they see the dual lane outside. They feel comfortable taking the 2v2. The reason why you don't make a play with your top laner is just because of what's about to happen. You're going to have the double TP advantage from Cloud9, and they're going to be able to just immediately TP as soon as they commit, and they're going to just get surprised. Another reason why you don't go for this kind of play is because the dual lane is going to have summoner advantage, and just because of that play, while it might look good at first, okay, you got first blood, you blow so many summoners, and there's just no gain from P1 that's actually worth it because these champions want to be able to set the tempo in the swap, and it's just too much loss from this situation. So while it is a rather aggressive play that you would want to look for if you have a TP into the mid laner, that would be the only instance where you're going to go for this. But this is just the reason why you see the top laners just back off, catch the wave as much as they can possible, TP to the bottom side and help with the push, as opposed to just trying to go head on into the push and obviously get killed like that.
Again, so that's still some of the issues that we see with these younger, greener squads is the fact that they recognize that, hey, there is the possibility of a play here, but not necessarily taking into account the fact that we don't have a TP because I'm going to my own TP lane.
On the bright side, this is kind of like, if you were to rate macro plays, this would be like in the middle to higher tier of what a macro play is like, right? The things that you have to consider, as opposed to the sheer basics that bottomer teams like Fox is facing, which is just like the regular lane assignment and actual wave management. So it does show more experience with macro play from P1. That's really nice to see out of a team that that started 09.
Just not quite TSM level, right?
Exactly.
We're just not quite to the top tier yet. Now I want to push this ahead to 20 minutes into the game. Sneaky's going to pick up another pentakill on the season here. He's been a monster when it comes to cleaning up fights on the gym.
Yeah, chalk it up because this fight, again, instantly at the start of this, Jensen gets engaged upon. He has his ultimate here, and Sneaky's got so much room for the entirety of this fight, and things just keep playing into his way. First of all, Zig gets pulled towards him for the first kill. Nice setup for this, and Mash is going to end up jumping in and getting caught by so much damage that's going to come out from the Zilean and from the rest of the team that it's an easy pickup, and he isn't able to snowball the jumps continuously. You can see exhausted as well. Out comes the fourth kill from it, and from there, he can chase Pyrion down super easy.
But now, correct me if I'm wrong, Crumbs. This was a fight you believe that Phoenix1 should have been able to win.
Phoenix1 should have won that fight because while Zilean into Malzahar does sound like a good idea, obviously you can resurrect whoever gets Malzahar ulted. The problem was that they did not chain the CC properly. When you get the Malzahar ultimate and there's a Braum passive onto the Zilean, the biggest priority is going to be CC lock the Zilean so he does not get the Chrono Shift off. They do not blow all their auto attacks on them. They kind of try to weave in the spells. And when you're with a Braum, you want to just attack first, spells later. It is so important to get that stun off. And because of that, the fight gets delayed. Zilean's able to just get lanterned away and is being able to provide so much to the front line eventually with the bomb and zoning as well that it just goes chaotic for P1. So it was a really good attempt from them, but ultimately backfired.
The execution just not quite there. Now that Zilean to Malzahar, it happened to work out in this game, and Jensen's going to pick up player of the game, 8-0-11 on the Zilean. Of course, he picked up a quadra kill right after that fight. We're not going to see that, but Jensen picks up the quadra right after Sneaky with the penta, 19 KDA from that Zilean deathless game. Solid play.
Yeah,
Timeless performance.
Timeless performance, if you will.
Pretty rare you have a pentakill and it's not player of the game. I mean,
that's true. That's also true.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, pentakill, and it doesn't get it. But obviously, a lot can be said for how much Jensen did. talked about turning around the early fights with that teleport and that kind of thing. So certainly a deserved one as well, but a lot of people contentious. We've talked about it before. Could have been both.
Now, if we do the kind of zoom out macro picture look, Cloud9, as I mentioned, is now securely or solidly, let's say, in that third position. Doesn't mean they're guaranteed to be locked there for playoffs, but they're putting that separation between them and the rest of the teams. I actually want to talk more about Phoenix1 because they're sitting down there right near Energy, not looking good for them. They're not going to be able to make playoffs, but they're still jockeying for position when it comes to that promotion tournament. Are you seeing what you need to see out of this team to say that they are improving, at least at some rate, over the past few weeks and into the promotion tournament?
Yeah, absolutely. I do think that we're seeing what we need to be seeing out of this team to actually say that they are out of the top echelon of the bottom teams. But the one concern would be the actual drafting. It's gotten a little bit sloppy here today because we know exactly what's been working for them. They've been running it over and over and over, and that's what they're actually been able to get some of these wins that were unexpected. But a surprising kind of pick that's not catering to their strength that we always know, press R and engage, which is perfectly fine to have that kind of style, but you're just deviating from it at the odd situations, especially on a match that if you can actually win this game, you keep your playoff dreams alive, is a little questionable for me.
All right, well, that's going to conclude all of our series for the day. Now it's time to talk player of the game. This week, 4 players grabbed multiple honors. Huhi, Inori, Reignover, and Stixxay all grabbed themselves 2 mentions alongside a dozen other players who took 1 each.
Stixxay's got a makeover.
Oh, that's a good point. Not even the right team. Anyway, now for a look at the overall split leaderboard, though. Bjergsen still remains king of the hill. 10-time player of the game honors this split. Hot on his heels, though, are double of Phoenix, Cooney, and Pobelter, as well as Wild Turtle, who hold 8 awards and have their last shot to surpass Bjergsen next week.
Pretty cool looking at this comparatively to Europe and the positions. In Europe, it's like jungler, like everybody. And then I believe there's like Knight from Giants, because in their wins he's been instrumental. So seeing Bjergsen double it like 80 carry, like pretty cool to see different roles in there.
I like the acronym, the POG, the PogChamp now.
They're absolutely PogChamp. We should have thought about that before we titled it Player of the Game. Well, Week 8 is all wrapped up, so let's see how the teams stack up. TSM equalized today, drawing into a first-place tie with Immortals. Their match next week will decide first place. Cloud9 remains in third. CLG and Liquid have clinched playoffs and are tied in fourth. Envy is still fighting their way into playoffs, but have 6th place for now, and they're followed by Apex in 7th with Energy and Phoenix1 tied for 8th. And EchoFox, of course, they round out the standings in that 10th place. Now a sneak peek at the League of Legends esports content coming your way in Week 9. It all begins on Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific with Primetime League. Catch up on everything going on across all the pro leagues and get set for the last week of regular season LCS competition. Friday, the North American LCS comes back with a blockbuster first match. Immortals and TSM face off for control of first place and the top seed in the playoffs. Now, the European LCS is back on a special schedule this weekend starting at Saturday, 12 p.m. Central European time. Tune in to catch G2 taking on Vitality, followed by Origins match with Splice. That's a lot of information. Hopefully you internalize it all because there are some switch-ups in the schedule, so check lolesports.com, double-check it, triple-check it in case you want to find the matches.
Or just watch esports
or just watch all
every day.
Just leave Twitch open on our channels, and it'll just play when you'll just hear it in your headphones. Either way, I want to talk now about that Match of the Week showdown that's coming up on Friday between TSM and Immortals. Couldn't have asked for it to play out any better. Both teams coming in with the same exact record here. Gonna decide that top
P1.
seed. Yeah, thank you, P1. Gonna decide that top seed, that number 1 seed going into playoffs. What are you guys' feeling about how this matchup might go down?
I feel like as long as TSM can get their draft back to, well, what we saw from today, which now I'm a little bit more confident on, I still think that they should be stronger. I've seen a lot more consistency out of TSM week on week than out of Immortals. So I still think Immortals are playing like a bit of a funky style, but maybe with the Fiora.
I'm all about the funk, though. I'm all about Immortals here. I actually think Immortals has a good shot at this one because they do play that wild style. They're all chaotic. The games are bloody. They're giving up a whole lot of kills, but shockingly, the games still end in 20 minutes. Well, no matter what they keep doing, the games still go their way, which is really cool to see out of a team, be able to compose themselves objective-wise.
I mean, I really think that this matchup is going to come down to which game gets played. Is the TSM game played or is the Immortals game played, right? Can Immortals force TSM to play their chaotic, funky, combative League of Legends, or can TSM rein them in, for lack of a better word, right? and really say, no, we're going to play a rigid game of League of Legends in which we're
So they're the
going to,
vaults and Immortals is the funk.
Yes, very much. There you go. To continue your music analogy, sure, why not, Crumbs? All right, well, that's going to do it for our show. So on behalf of myself, Stress, and Crumbs, our casters, and the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys next week.
I'm going back to Europe. There were no ties.
We should get a mascot. Somebody should ride a horse through the stage.
I'm looking for Victor. I want Victor. No, kill Lucian. Nice.
Lucian?
Lucian.
I'm here. I flash. Oh, I'm gonna die. I'm here. We keep going. We're winning.
Yeah.
Phoenix going very hard. Breaks the turret tether. He has the minions in range now. And it's gonna be the draw!
Holy shit.
They're going for a jump.
I can almost hack around, dude. Good job.
The 2-0 going over to Liquid as they take down Energy.
What were your thoughts immediately after that game when you suffered defeat to CLG?
Honestly, it's a fluke. They're not the better team, not even close.
Guys, come on, we're supposed to be serious since we lost to P1.
I do not recall anything from yesterday. It's like I woke up and we're playing P1 right now.
Yeah,
a loss in our record. Wow, dude.
Here comes the rest of the chase. TSM are in. Ninja gonna get caught up. There's another snipe. There's the kill picked up. Hanser getting one for himself. And he picks up one already. He's picked up a second. They're maybe turning it back around. A nice double kill for Hanser. And that's all she wrote. TSM will make it a 2-0.
Kappa. All right, good stuff.
Huhi is doing a lot of work along with the rest of CLG. Froggen is shielded, makes it back onto the fountain as Darshan zones him away with the traffic call.
Yo, I can look to arrow soon. Just run.
I'm running, Jay.
I'm airing. Holy shit, Jay. What the fuck? My boy. Alright, he's gonna...
Phoenix1 going to get to do that again, or Cloud9 going to take the switch with now Gate on the side as well. He's got a bomb on his head, diving back in onto it, gets himself a double kill, does sneaky as Gate. Going to get locked up by the deadly flourish.
Penta kill! You hit him.
Get him, fam!
Oh, Penta. There!
Nice.
Woo! So, dude.
That's my boy.
But Jensen, are they going to go in for Inori as well? Maybe a Quadra this time for the mid laner as Inori chased up, unborrowed there, and Jensen gets another. There's the Quadra! Cloud9 are going to pick themselves up the 2-0 sweep versus Phoenix1.